Hello everybody, it's Numerologist Michelle Buchanan with your numerology forecast for March 2023. I know I say it every time, but I just can't believe how quickly time is flying by. It's March already. It seems like just yesterday it was Christmas. So you're going to hear me talk about the forecast for the 7 universal year and the 7 universal month number. And you know, the 7 universal year number 7, because 2023 equals 7, it's gonna sound like a little bit repetitive as we go through the year, because this is the grand theme of everything, and I have to recap what that grand theme is every time I do a new forecast each month, because this is the foundation. This is the sort of the backbone and the underlying forecast for the whole year as a whole, and it is the 7 energy, and it's never going anywhere. It's only going to get stronger as we go through the year, so I'm always going to be recapping that for you. So sometimes it might sound a little bit repetitive, but in a way that's a good thing, because we really need to get it drummed into our head as to what's going on, so that we can ride the wave of that energy. We can harmonize with that flow and that direction that we're naturally being led to. We can harmonize with it. We can surrender to it. We can amplify it by adopting the mindset that we need to be in harmony with it. And that's why, and what does it mean? Because it's such a big, important year this year. It really does tell a very significant story. So let me remind you of what that story is. So the 7 universal year number is the number for the whole year for everybody on the planet. And this affects every single one of us. And it's the number 7. All right, so there's many key themes going on for the 7. One thing in particular is that it is the number that's here to sort of shine light on the darkness, because it's exposing whatever is hidden. It's the energy that's all about, hey, let's shine light on whatever's under the carpet, what's been swept under the carpet, what's secretive, what secrets are there, what's going on that may be sort of hidden from view. Let's expose it. So that's why it is, a theme of exposing what's really going on in some ways. And so, in terms of a global sort of, globally, there is going to be a light shining down on exposing truths in politics, in governments, local governments, nationwide governments, international governments, and agendas, and in the scientific realm, and exposing truths and untruths, or things that have been kept hidden in, finances, in sort of environmental issues, especially with regards to sort of, underhanded things being done and have been blamed on climate change, for example, like there's all these agendas and things that aren't quite what they seem like they are. And the 7 energy is sort of shining light down on it. Now that light will be shining way above and beyond just the 7 year, and it's been shining before the 7 year. It's just that we can get some real headway with that light shining down to expose things this year, but we probably won't hear much about that in the mainstream media. So know that even though you may not hear much about it, unless you've got your ear to the ground and you're in certain circles and you're getting information, accurate information from behind the scenes outside the mainstream, to know that things are definitely changing and things are shifting. But it is a process. And it's a long, necessary process, because if you think about it, when, let's say there's certain information that needs to be exposed, but by doing so might traumatize people, or it might destabilize or freak a lot of people out that didn't see it coming. We don't want too much turmoil. So the universe knows what it's doing in terms of divine order and divine timing. And our job is to just maintain our equilibrium no matter what's going on around us. To turn around and have that mindset of, look, I'm sending love and light onto the truth. May the light shine wherever it is needed for the greater good and the greater good of all. And you're sort of putting those positive thoughts into it, sending love and light, putting a grid of protection over the world, over your own countries, over your families, over your homes, yourselves, and sort of trying to attract in the light for yourself, and the ability to be grounded and optimistic and in a high vibration as we navigate through these unusual times. And so really what it's about on one hand, being aware, because 7, is the truth. So it's about the truth seeker, finding answers to questions, finding the truth of what's really going on in your own way. And here's the thing, we've all got our own individual truth, and we're often very different from each other. My truth will be different from the people who live next door. My truth will be different. My truth is different from my parents, for example. And, it's really about finding our own truth and whatever that means to us, and having the courage to walk that path. And it's interesting because, we are also, with that 7 universal year for 2023, are also in a number one universal month for March with that 7 universal year. And the 1 is about being courageous. It's about walking a new path. It's about being okay with standing on your own 2 feet, being independent, being different, being unique. And so, we're getting a double dose this month in March of, hey, finding out what your truth is and being your true authentic self within that truth and that understanding, and being okay with being different, or being okay with having a viewpoint that might sort of shake a few people up or be, different from other people that So the 7 universal year is also encouraging us. It's about personal development and self-improvement. So it's going to encourage us to sort of keep chipping away. We're all a work in progress. We're all supposed to be a work in progress. We're human beings with areas in our personalities and our lives that need work. And that's okay. The trick is to do it with less judgment of ourselves and with a kind heart, and being caring and nurturing to yourself as a mother would a child as we journey through this area of self-improvement. We're going to have good days, bad days. We're going to think we've mastered something, and then boom, out it comes out of the closet again, like some other big shadow part of our personality that freaks us out because we think we'd mastered it, and then here it comes again. It's raising its ugly head again. And that's all fine. It's not even so much the issue itself or the personality trait or the shadow side that needs work that's the issue. It's how we judge ourselves over that or about that is the issue. We've got to be kind, we're humans. It's okay. And so the 7 years encouraging us to do that work on ourselves, and not only to do the work because, hey, we're trying to be better people here, we're trying to evolve, but actually because we're trying to ascend and raise our vibration as high as we can, because we're moving from a 3D being in a 3D world into a 5D being in a 3D world. So we're still in this 3-dimensional world, but we're raising our vibration to a higher frequency within that 3D world. And that higher frequency comes from being heart-centered. It comes from being kind to ourselves, gentle with ourselves, embracing and loving ourselves, and being kind and gentle and understanding towards others. It's also about learning how, and this is what this year is really going to teach us. It's easy to do this, isn't it, guys, when everyone in your life is really easy to get along with, or our own life is very easy at the time. We don't have any major challenges. And I tell you what, for example, we really have to step up to the plate when circumstances change. Like I've been going through for the last few weeks, a massive big turning point in my growth. Soon as in New Zealand, so I know there are people listening to this forecast all over the world, and we've all got our own issues in our own countries. But one of the things that's really amped up all around the world, and especially in New Zealand, like we've never seen before, are these unexpected, disaster weather events that are blamed on global warming out of the blue, that have been manipulated and given a bit of a helping hand by, anyway, I won't go into that, but that's terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. So it's easy to hold your center and have a high vibration and be all, trusting and in alignment when things are okay in your world and you feel you're on top of things. But as soon as something like, unexpected weather events that are that you think are like going to come and get you, it's pretty freaking terrifying. And to see these poor people that are homeless and that have lost everything, don't even get me started, but it's really horrific and really heartbreaking and really, really sad and really scary at the same time. Really scary. And so I really had to step up my game these last few weeks and really confront my fear. And this is what this energy will do to all of us, and it'll affect us in different ways, but it will bring to the surface whatever we need to work on. And I really need to work on, and I have always needed to work on, and have just peeled off another layer of the onion of that work these last few weeks. For me, fear. Fear that, the baddies are going to get me. The baddies are going to get us. They own the world. Oh my goodness, what are we going to do? So I really had to step up my game and say light is stronger than dark. Love is stronger than fear, to not let my fear lower my vibration, and to have blind faith and trust that everything will be okay. And if I am destined to be in a disastrous weather event, then that is what I'm destined to go through, and I will be okay because I can overcome, and I will just deal with it. And so to come to terms with those things and really get on top of that fear. So that's something that I wanted to share with you, and realize, and you can learn from what I'm learning, is we attract what we believe, and we create our own reality. And as long as we are afraid of these things that could happen, is we've got a really strong chance of attracting them, for one, because we're giving them so much attention. Whereas I've really had to pull up my socks and really get disciplined and focused and giving my attention to the outcome that I want. What do we want? What do I want? What do we want? I want to live in a community of like-minded people where we all work together as a team, where we give each other a helping hand, where there's no animosity, there's no you're this, I'm that, no division. We're just coming together, getting back to basics, growing our own foods, taking care of each other, working in a community, and safe. We're living on planet Earth, and the weather is natural. And it's funny because the 7 universal year, guys, is also about nature. It's about reminding yourself of your relationship, or our relationship with nature, and how important it is for us. It really is. It's about, harmonizing our energy field with the energy field of Gaia to improve our health and to create inner peace. You know what I mean? It's like connecting and tuning into the natural world and understanding our relationship with source energy and with Mother Earth. Because a lot of our physical insecurity, a lot of our issues, a lot of our illnesses can even have to do with disconnection from nature. We're out of harmony, so therefore we get out of balance. And the 7 is about nature. It's about energy. It's about the higher source and higher energies. And so, reconnecting with all of that. The 7 is also not just personal development and working on our shadow side and improving ourselves, and first of all, figuring out what we have to work on, because don't forget that issue of truth for the 7 is also about what is my own personal truth? What untruths am I telling myself, or what do I need to look at? And I need to be really honest with myself, what I need to work on, or what can I improve, and really be truthful about that. Don't sweep things under the carpet. So there's many layers to these themes that we're going through this year, but it's not just, personal development. The 7 universal year is also about spiritual development. It's about understanding exactly how powerful we are as spiritual beings, as creative spiritual beings. We are so powerful, and we still haven't even scratched the surface of our capabilities. And so, again, I look at these themes of the 7 and the 1, and it's like, be courageous, Michelle. Don't be afraid. You are creating your reality as you go along. So pull yourself together and focus on how you want your life to be, how you want the world to be. Focus on feeling safe and protected, and knowing that whatever challenges you're confronted with for your growth, you will overcome. You will be okay. And, call on nature. The more time we spend in nature, the more time we enhance our spiritual connection. That is our force field of protection as well. And these things all intertwine, as well as there's truths are being exposed, and things are shifting, and people are finding things out, and quite they didn't know were happening before, and there's all these different themes going on. It's really, really interesting. And so another thing to know, we're also learning in the 7 universal year how to be able to discriminate between illusion and reality, to be able to discriminate and discern between what is really truth that we're being told and what is untruth and dishonesty based on our intuitive gut feeling. We really have to amplify that gut feeling to be able to ask ourselves, does that feel right for me? Does that sit right with me? Does that feel like truth to me? Because there's a lot going on where we're being fed things that aren't even true, but God, they look like they are, but they're not. And so it really is a bit of a battle for finding out what we feel is truth and what isn't. And there's all these things going on, but it's a really exciting time because as a result, we're going to raise our vibration. We're going to improve our world. We almost need to go 2 steps forward to go one step, 2 steps, one step forward and 2 steps back sometimes, sometimes things have to be a bit messy in order to be tidied up eventually as we move through them. And so it's about going through the ups and downs and hanging in there and being optimistic every step in the way. So this one universal month is about fresh new energy, new ways of thinking, new ways of doing things, new solutions, new ways of thinking about problems. In fact, many of us will have some aha moments where there'll be information that's new that we didn't even know before. And so, bear that in mind. It's a great time to start something new, but it's about being proactive and not just sitting by as an observer, getting out there and taking action and doing something about it. So that's the introduction for the 7 universal year and 1 universal month. Now I'm going to give you the formula to work out your personal year number for 2023. And we get that by adding the day and month of your birth date to number 7. Add the day and month of your birth date to number 7. When you get a double-digit number, add any double numbers together until you get a single number between 1 and 9. So let me give you the example for the 28th of March. We would add the 28th of March to 7. 2 plus 8 is 10. 10 plus 3 for March is 13. And 13 plus 7 is 20. Now that's a double-digit number. So we add the double numbers together to get a single number between 1 and 9. And for 20, 2 plus 0 is 2. So therefore, I'm in a 2 personal year number this year because my birthday is the 28th of March. Let's try another birth date. Let's try the 31st of the 12th. So we're going to add the day and month of a birth date to 7. Now the 31st of the 12th. 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 plus 2 is 7. And we add that to 7. 7 and 7 is 14. Now that's a double-digit number. Keep adding the double numbers together to get a single number between 1 and 9. And 1 plus 4 is 5. So that birth date was a 5 personal year number. All right? Right, so let's get started. Now, for anyone who's not sure of what that is, the calculation method will be in the description of the video on YouTube and on my website on the forecast page. So let's get started with the forecast for personal year number 1. You guys are in a 1 year this whole year. So this whole year for you, the grand thing for the whole year, regardless of what month you're in, is about you being courageous. All right, having the courage to stand up, to step up, stand on your own 2 feet, think for yourself, take charge of your life. Get out there, take the bull by the horns. There are new opportunities waiting for you, and there are new opportunities waiting for you to create, waiting to be created by you. So this is a year where new things can begin. In fact, I have a friend who has just met a lovely new partner after being single for a while, and she's in a 1 year of new beginnings and new opportunities. Isn't that wonderful? Other people in their 1 year. I know I was in a 1 year last year. I moved house to the other part of the country. I didn't even know I was going to move. I've lived in the same place for like 25 years. I had no idea I was going to be moving anywhere. And that kept happening out the blue in a 1 year. And so just know anything can happen and be open to it. But you have to be proactive. You want to be positive. And you want to be brave enough to make changes. And also to be okay about having, about being different, being okay and brave enough to speak your own thoughts and to be your true, authentic self. But it is a time to move forward and take action, especially if you've got something new that you want to begin. So for the month of March, you guys are in a 4 personal month, because March is a 3 month, and we add that 3 to the 1 of your year. That's why you're in a 4 month. So for the month of March, it's about you doing whatever you need to do to get yourself and your life in order. So it's about doing the work. It's about getting everything all lined up, how it needs to be to achieve a goal. So let's say, for example, and everyone's life is different and everyone's got different things that need to be stabilized or created or worked upon. So you might have someone, for example, and they might have a health issue. So therefore, this 4 month is about doing the work, doing what is necessary to create a solid, healthy foundation from a physical perspective. So therefore, they may have to go and get a checkup, start looking at diet, start exercising, eliminating sugar, eliminating alcohol, eliminating caffeine, maybe detoxing, and starting to improve their healthy habits. And so that's an example of doing the work to achieve a goal, because this month is saying, effort's required, but as a result, you can really get some headway. Also with that 4 month, another person, it might be, I've got to get my finances in order. So I need to cut down on my spending. I need to see if I can find ways to generate more income. I need to find ways to budget my finances. Someone else, it might be, I need to get my business in order. So I need to retrain and get some upskill my abilities. I need to, fine stream my account system, or I need to update my software for my programs that I'm selling, or, everything's different. So it's about doing whatever needs to be done to get yourself and your life where it needs to be. So put in the effort. Don't sit down and wait for things to happen. You've got to be proactive, but you can really get some headway. Now, the 4 month can be slow going sometimes. It can feel like delays, obstacles, but just persevere. Be patient, be tolerant, be perseverance and patience and dedication and commitment are key themes this month, as well as hard work and effort. But the rewards will be there with the right attitude, all right? So I wish you a really, really good month. So let's go on now to personal year number 2. You guys are in a year, and I'm on this year too, so I know exactly what you're going through. So we're in a 2 year. And the 2 year is really good because what it's doing is it's giving us a chance to create balance within ourselves and balance within our life and harmony, because that's what number 2 represents. It represents emotional harmony and emotional balance, mental stability, mental balance. So it's about, doing some self-examination, doing whatever needs to be done to create peace, harmony, and healing in our own environment. And that starts first and foremost with our own mind. Eliminating, or first of all, being aware of limiting beliefs, self-judgmental thoughts, self-criticism, and that sort of nagging ego voice telling you how useless you are, and that critical voice that makes you feel unworthy. First of all, the stability and the balance and the harmony is created by having a beautiful voice talking back to you that's supporting you, that loves you, that's kind to you, just like the voice of a best friend. And you have to be that for yourself. And then it's also going to sort of bring to the surface emotional issues. So it's about not being afraid to explore any sort of emotional things that come to the surface, any repressed emotions that need to be recognized and embraced and understood consciously so that they can then be released. And then sort of also it's about sort of working on those areas that, because see, some of us, everyone's got different things to work on, and some people's things are a lot bigger. But what can happen in the 2 year is we are more sensitive than we normally are, and because we're more sensitive, we could overreact to things. We could be sort of feeling a bit more vulnerable. And then some people, it's the opposite. That sensitivity makes them more intuitive. So the veil is even thinner when it comes to, connecting with lost loved ones in spirit, or being in more synchronicity with life, or developing their psychic abilities with mediumship, for example, or psychometry, or, energy healing. So, there's a lot of advantages to that as well. It just depends, but you're about managing yourself, okay, and sort of finding the stability within yourself emotionally. Now, what it'll also do is it will want will want to connect with people more. So it can kind of make you a bit more nurturing, a bit more understanding, and wanting to get close and have those harmonious bonds and that one-on-one sort of deeper connections with people. And also relationship issues that have been brewing beneath the surface may rise to be resolved. So some people can have relationship issues with loved ones, with children, with friends, with partners, that need to be ironed out. And that's a good thing, because, these things give us an opportunity to create a more deeper connection through a deeper understanding, because things have been come out. They're not just under the carpet anymore. They've come to the surface so that they can be looked at. So we can try and be cooperative and make things better where possible, or realize that, things can't be made better, and it's time to sort of make it, maybe move away from each other, or look at ways that things can be improved. So I'll leave that. Now that's your 2 year. That's the year now. But for the month of March, we're in a 5 month. And that 5 month is about progress, movement, and change. It's where anything can happen, and it usually does. It's a very fast-paced energy, so it's about being aware, to be as disciplined as we possibly can, so that we don't get caught up in things and we don't get distracted and sort of, led down the garden path, and the next thing you know, we haven't completed some important things. We've been sidetracked and distracted. So it's about, on one hand, being free. It's a key theme of freedom. So, and adventure, and having more fun, and doing things we wouldn't normally do, or meeting people we've never met before, or learning new things and exploring new things, and stimulating our mind, and pushing the envelope, and being a bit more daring and a bit more adventurous and exciting, But the other hand is also, it's an energy of change. So if there are changes that need to be made, and you need to make them, it is the time to sort of get off your butt and make those changes. Don't wait for them to come to you. If there are changes that need to be made and you're not making those changes, then they may be forced upon you. If they need to be made and you're just sort of sitting there, not doing anything about it, being lazy, or just being too afraid, those changes may force themselves upon you if you have no choice. So you kind of want to be proactive about that. But it is definitely a time to have some fun, try some new things, expand your mind, reach out, be a bit more social, be a bit more of a networker. So I'll leave that with you, and I'll move on now to personal year number 3. You guys are in a year where, it's a very creative energy, the 3. It's a very emotional and a very creative energy, and if you are aware of that, and you can use that to your advantage, and one of the things that the 3 year will do is it will amplify how you feel. And it has to do that to make it loud, clear, and obvious. If you're feeling good, that's amazing. You want to feel as good as you can, no matter what's going on around you, because it's our emotions that determine our frequency. And of course, we can't have emotion unless it's a thought first. But if you're thinking good things, if you're feeling deliberately trying to see the glass half full, deliberately trying to do more of what feels good, deliberately trying to, do things that you enjoy, then that's going to raise your vibration. And that's what you're learning how to do this year. And you're also learning how to speak your truth. It's also a year where you will be a bit more social. There may be communication things coming up where you have to have conversations, or some people it might be, I've got to create a presentation for the first time in my life for my work, or another person in a 3 year might be writing a book. Another person that's working on the 3 energy may be learning how to journal and write their feelings down for the first time in their life, or they've always done it, but they're going to be doing a lot more of it and getting that energy out, expressing it out. It's better out than in a 3-year. The 3-year is about being more social, getting a bit around people a bit more, communicating, speaking more, expressing yourself. And if there's anything artistic and creative that you enjoy doing, definitely do more of that. Now, for the month of March, you're in a 6th month, and that means there is a focus on the relationships in your life, family, friends, love relationship, neighbors, work colleagues, children, people in general, but mostly the relationships in your close relationships in your life. You may be there to be called to be a shoulder to cry on for those in need, so offer a helping hand where you can. The 6th energy is about becoming the selfless servant without expecting anything in return. And so it is saying, having that mindset as you go through this month. What can I do for you? How can I help you? Instead of more of a selfish mindset of what can I get out of this, or what's in it for me, or I'm not going to do that unless I get something back for it, or I'm only going to do that if that person deserves it. Like, it's about rising above and coming from the heart center, coming from the higher self and the soul. That's saying, look, is there anything I can do to make the situation better for another human being? No one's counting, no one's keeping count. It's got nothing to do with what I'm owed. The universe doesn't think of it like that. And the soul and the higher self certainly does not. And we're learning how to come from that space. We're learning how to navigate our way through life motivated by what we can do to be of service, not what we can get. The 6 also can mean great time to do things like work on the home. Work on, spending more time with children. It's work on the house, the garden. A great month for us to focus on self-care and our own relationship with ourselves. It's a great time to have a beauty makeover, or to work on your divine feminine energy. And also just know that, you do actually, when you really can tune into what another person is going through, and you really sit down in your heart center instead of thinking of your own stuff in your own life, and you see someone that and they might be going through something, and you just take a moment to just sort of sink into what it might feel like for them, and to come from that more understanding and cooperative and helpful mindset. That's what the 6th energy is about. It's teaching us how to do that. Because when you raise a vibration or assist another person, you raise a vibration of the whole planet. We're all connected. We're one giant big tapestry of oneness. So when you're helping another person, you are helping yourself, but you're helping all of us. You're helping to heal us all. So, there's something bigger going on in terms of the greater good with that kind of thing. So I'll leave that with you, and I'll move on now to personal year number 4. You guys are in a year where, effort is required from you this year. You have to get off your butt. You have to get out there and do what you have to do to get yourself where you want to be, to be the best you can be. Or if there's a project that you want to complete, if there's a business that you want to improve, if there's a health goal that you want to achieve, if there's project you're working on that you want to complete, like a renovation, or you want to, upgrade your business, or you want to, be a master and develop your skills as a yoga teacher. Who knows? But this year is saying do what's needed to be done to get you to achieve what's going to make you happy, or whatever your goal is, and to be dedicated and committed. And to not force things, but to take that energy seriously. It might not be as glamorous and exciting as some of the other numbers, the 4, but do not underestimate it, because if you put the effort in and you've got the right attitude, by the end of this year, you can really have come a long way. It can be really a really beneficial year. So, slow and steady wins the race. Use a step-by-step process to achieve goals. Be dedicated, disciplined, focused, and get yourself where you want to be. Work on what needs to be done to achieve goals. And you're in a 7-month for March. And that 7-month is basically go within. It's about focusing on getting the inner you and your health and well-being the best it can be. So there is a focus on your personal development, working on the sides of your personality that need to be improved, working on the areas of yourself and your life that you need to work on so that you can feel happier. It's also where your relationship with source energy, your spiritual relationship is really important. That's going to help you to achieve your overall goals. It's also the 7 month is also, don't forget you're in a 7 month, but you're also in a 7 universal year with that 7 personal month for March. So there's a double dose of that 7 energy. And that's also about the more that work that you put in, the better off you're going to be overall, especially also spending time in nature, health and well-being, all of that kind of thing. So I'll leave that with you, and I wish you a wonderful month. And we'll move on now to personal year number 5. So you guys are in a year of change. Anything can happen, and it usually does. This is a fast-paced energy where things can speed up. Might feel a little bit faster and a bit crazy, or a little bit it's very dynamic, it's very charismatic, it's very, wow, what the heck happened? It can be like a whirlwind. Now, that depends on what month you're in with that energy. But it is where anything can happen and you don't see it coming. And that can be in a really good way. So it can be really unexpected surprises, unexpected, exciting events and things happening. And it's kind of like, wow, that is so cool. I didn't see that coming. And then other people, it can be both. Other times it can also be like, wow, shit, didn't see that one coming. That's not cool. It can be a challenge that you didn't see coming, or an unexpected event. It's an energy of change. So it's designed to shake things up a bit so that we're not sort of stuck in the same old stagnant, same old. So it will shake things up, but you can really work that energy to your advantage. Think of it as going surfing and learning how to ride the wave. So be adaptable, flexible. Don't have your plans too set in stone. Be able to pivot. If you're going down one road and it stops in a dead end and it takes a last-minute detour, pivot with it. Change and be adaptable with that unexpected event or change so that you can land on your feet and just keep cruising and surfing that wave. Don't let it take you down. It can be a really exciting, dynamic, fun, adventurous energy, and it's a great time for change. It's a great time for stimulating your mind, learning new things, meeting new people, having adventures, feeling free, whatever that feeling of freedom means for you. Now, you're in a month of 8 for the month of March, and that's about getting your finances in order, not overspending. It's about budgeting and looking at ways you might be able to change, or looking at your career. There can be a focus on job, money, business, career, investments, legal issues, contracts, things like that, real estate, that sort of thing can sometimes occur in an 8 frequency. But it literally is also about reclaiming your personal power and not allowing yourself to feel disempowered by another person or people, or a limiting belief or a bad habit. So it's about becoming self-empowered and not allowing yourself to be disempowered by a fear, by a worry, by a bad habit, by a situation. Stepping into your power and being strong and positive. The number 8 month that you're in for March is also a very powerful law of attraction number with the manifestation process. So I recommend that you, even if you go on YouTube and you look up Abraham Hicks and you watch some Abraham Hicks free videos on the law of attraction and get to learn that manifestation process that is based on what we think and what we feel and what our perceptions are about ourselves in life, and working on those limiting beliefs that are holding you back, that aren't even real, because this is a very dynamic combination of numbers this month where you can really manifest miracles with the 5 and the 8. I love that combination together. It's very dynamic. So use it to your advantage. But also another challenging aspect of those 2 numbers together is extra effort required to maintain your balance, to not get too scattered, too obsessive, too addictive, all right, too extreme. Find the balance. So let's move on now to personal year number 6. You guys are in a year where relationship issues are important, and that's relationships with the people in your life, especially people you're close to, like family, children, partner, best friends, neighbours, colleagues, work colleagues, community members, people in general, but mostly some of the people that you interact with a lot or that you're close to. Family matters, domestic responsibilities, family dynamics, getting the house in order, domestic responsibilities. That can be issues to do with the house and working on the house or the garden. And it can be being the shoulder to cry on when you're in need, to offer a helping hand without expecting anything in return, to be that selfless servant where you're asking, how can I help you? What can I do for you? Without worrying about your own stuff and knowing that the universe will sort your own things out further down the line. Just do the right thing, be there to offer assistance. It's a great year for you to work on your self-care, to work on your relationship with yourself and finding balance between giving and receiving. So you're in a month of a 9 personal month for March, and that's about out with the old to make way for the new. So it is about endings, completion, and transformation. So especially when it comes to relationships and people, the 9 is saying out with the old to make way for the new. So it's about resolving things, forgiving, moving on, letting things go, let the past be the past, let bygones be bygones, healing, resolving, forgiving, and releasing and letting go. Some people will literally be in a position to do that. Other people will, be on the receiving end of that. They have to let go because they're being told, someone else is telling them to go. And then other people are just trying to get their head around that in general and aren't quite able to do that, but they're working through those themes. So the 9 month for March for you guys is about, letting go of what you've grown out of. It means, transformation, getting to the end of a path so that you can move up a level. It's almost like graduation, moving through so that you can move into a higher frequency next month. So fine-tuning, finishing off some finer details and letting go and walking away and out with the old to make way for the new, ready for a new beginning next month. So I'll leave that with you and I'll move on now to personal year number 7. So you guys get a double dose of the energy because your 7 personal year number is the same as the 7 universal year number. So if you listen to the introduction, that's pretty much the same forecast as what you're getting here. It's literally where there is a big focus on your personal growth this year, on your personal development, upskilling yourself. Some people will want to develop skills in themselves or expand in their abilities and grow and learn and develop. It is definitely a year where studying, learning, developing and improving is really, it's a great time to do that because you can get some really good results. It's also a year where looking at the psychological understanding of people's behavior, why they behave the way they do, including yourself, why you behave the way you do, why do you react that way, what is the core belief behind that, that emotion or that reaction or that trigger. Where does it come from and why? Why do you have it? Where does it come from? Is it even real? Is it even true? Go down that rabbit hole of self-exploration, self-analysis to find the answers, and then reprogramming your mind, your subconscious mind, your conscious mind with truth. And the truth is, I don't need to carry that round anymore. It doesn't serve me. It's not even true. And I am worthy, or I am abundant, or I am safe and protected, or I am healthy, or I am lovable, and I am in a mutually loving relationship with the perfect person for me. Whatever your thing is, working on yourself, spending time in nature, working on your health and well-being, and sort of solidifying your spiritual relationship with source energy. You're in a 1 month for March, and that's about a new beginning. It's about moving forward, starting something new. It could be a new mindset, a new way of looking at an existing problem or situation, adopting new techniques, some new skills that you've just, learnt about. Open your mind, learn some new skills and embrace them and move forward with them and be proactive and get in the driver's seat of your life. Take charge, be courageous, be proactive, start new beginnings, Get out there, take action. Don't sit back and wait, because the 7-year is typically a slow energy, but the 1 month that you're in this year is saying move forward, take action. So you've got a green light there, so take advantage of it. So let's move on now to personal year number 8. You guys are in a year where, there's a great focus on money, business, career, job issues. It's about balancing your finances, budgeting, not overspending, looking at ways that you can balance your finances, maybe earn more money or spend less. Looking at other ways. Abundance isn't just cash in hand, but you are learning to adopt an attitude of abundance this year. But abundance isn't just money. Abundance is opportunity. Abundance is creativity, creating ways to make ends meet, coming up with creative solutions and creating some more synchronicity in your life where you're in the right place at the right time and everything you need is just there. And it doesn't have to be cash in hand. It can honestly, bartering, someone offers to help you, you offer to help them back, you do an exchange of energy and boom, you get what you need, and so do they. There's, abundance of good health, abundance of optimism and life force energy. So you're learning how to maintain, how to create that. That's why it's really important that you understand the laws of manifestation. You understand how powerful a creative being you are. Some great resources that you really want to get your head stuck into this year are Abraham Hicks. You can watch some free Abraham Hicks videos on the law of attraction on YouTube. You can learn, Bashar. Bashar does some great teachings. It's channeled as well on YouTube. You can go onto Gaia TV and watch some amazing documentaries from all types of people. Fill your mind. Sandra Ann Taylor, Quantum Success. John Kehoe, Mind Power. Wayne Dyer, Change Your Life. I've got that book. What is it? Oh, where is it? I don't want to waste time. Here it is. Change your thoughts, change your life. Hell yeah, that's so true. Bruce Lipton, The Biology of Belief, Abraham Hicks, Ask and It's Given, or The Vortex, or The Law of Attraction. E Squared by Pam Grout, Frequency by Penny Pierce. Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. So many amazing books there that you can learn about the intricate details of the law of attraction. But you're also learning how to find balance within yourself, to become self-empowered, courageous and strong, and finding the balance between the spiritual and the material worlds, and how to maintain balance and equilibrium and harmony within yourself. For the month of March, you're in a 2-month, and that is, it's an 11-2 month as well. So, that is about learning how to trust. Well, first of all, learning how to recognize and hear and feel your intuitive guidance. All right, so it's where you are getting the mind out the way and listening to how your body feels, listening to your heart, listening to how you feel in your gut, your solar plexus. Everybody's different, and that's why one of the reasons I love human design. It explains what your authority is, like it's a splenic authority, or, it explains. Human design is a system based on, your astrological profile, where it really explains where you're most intuitive and how you read your intuitive hits. And so the 2 month that you're in, the 11-2 especially, is about learning how to define where your strong gut instincts come from. Are they from the gut? Are they in the heart? Do you feel it in your solar plexus? Do you feel that intuitive hit? Is it in your heart? Is it in your, and learning how to get away from the logic and reason and into the intuition. So it's about making you more sensitive. You're going to feel more emotionally sensitive this month, so don't think you're losing the plot or anything. It literally will amplify your emotions, so that by amplifying your emotions, it helps us to become more aware of how we think and feel and what we really feel beneath the surface, because sometimes our emotions are repressed and we're not really sure, unless they're amplified, what we really think and feel and where those feelings come from, so that you can trace those feelings back to programs and to limiting beliefs that aren't even real and that are holding you back and that are disempowering you. And to be able to acknowledge those, recognize them, embrace them, understand them, nurture them, and then release them and let them go. That's how you heal. You peel another layer of the onion off. It's also about you being more cooperative this month, being more caring, understanding, trying not to be too argumentative and aggressive. Be soft, be feminine. It's a feminine energy. Anything you can do that connects you to source energy, to spirit, meditation, psychic development workshops and things are great this month with that combination of numbers. And I'll leave that with you, and I wish you the very best. And I'll move on now to personal year number 9. You guys are in a year of out with the old to make way for the new. So this is the last year of a 9-year cycle. So you won't even know yourself at the end of this year. You would have come so far. You would have been, out with the old to make way for the new, because you're in the middle of this the beginning of a transformation where you're developing into this new you, and you're learning how to shed the old thoughts, the old ways, the old limiting beliefs, the old patterns, the old triggers, the old and outworn ways of living and being that no longer serve you, and that you would by the end of this year have grown out of. And it's that process of transformation. And, embrace it. It's a beautiful thing. You're moving from the chrysalis into the butterfly. And, sometimes this process, because the 9 is also the energy of endings and completion, where things do come to an end for some people. And some people it can be, oh, look, I finally finished that project I've been working on for 5 years, or it's the end of it's the end of a relationship, or I'm moving house and, or I'm changing careers, or then there are other people that everything in their life, all the big things in their life are the same, but they're at the end of a pattern of behavior. They might be at the end of, you might have had a big aha moment, a big realization about something from the past that you've interpreted incorrectly for many years. But in the 9 year, you realize, oh my goodness, I see it from a different point of view now. I can see why it was necessary. I can see that it wasn't as personal as I thought it was all those years. And I can see how it was such a blessing in my life. And I can see what I've learned from it and what the good in it is. And now I get it. Wow. And then a massive shift occurs. And then your whole energy frequency recalibrates. And then boom, 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 boom. Now you're up another higher level. You're in a higher frequency as a result. And these are the kinds of things that can happen. So it's a really powerful, amazing year. And for the month of March, you're in a 3-month, which is about you learning to communicate more. So it's about having opportunities to get things off your chest, to write things down, journal if you need to, write that letter and send it to someone, or write down what you want to say if you need to have a conversation to clear the air, or even just journaling your thoughts and feelings, and no one else sees them except you, but you've got them out. Because the 3 is an energy of expression and getting out what needs to come out. It can also be creative expression too. So, it's a great time if you've got any artistic pursuits or any creative artistic hobbies or any sort of things you need to do. It could even be painting the fence at home, or it could be sewing and getting those repairs done to a bunch of clothes you've got in a bag that need to be altered, but you've never got round to them. So communication, speaking your truth, creative self-expression, artistic expression, as well as having more fun. So this month is asking you to be more positive and more optimistic, to see the glass half full, and to have more fun, to find the joy in life, to find the happiness in things, because you really need to learn how to do that. We all do, because happiness, gratitude, joy, the highest vibrations aside from love, and they raise our vibration through the roof, and we need to learn how to pivot from stress, worry, fear, anxiety into joy, into harmony, into peacefulness, into happiness. And that's really what you're learning how to do this month as well. So make sure you don't waste that opportunity, and that you're more social, you laugh more, watch some funny reruns of Friends or Seinfeld or whatever it is that makes you laugh. Listen to music that you used to love, that you grew up with. Go onto YouTube and search for some of your old records. I do that sometimes with my old Bay City Roller or ABBA records from childhood, and play them and sing along and it takes me right back to happy moments in childhood, and God, it feels good. And what does that do when you're feeling good? Doing a joyful, playful thing like that, your vibration is through the roof. So it's really, really healthy for us to do. So I'll leave that with you, and I hope you have a wonderful March, and I will talk to you again at the beginning of April. All righty. Take care. Bye.